Hey guys, this is Rollout with RolloutReviews doing another Let's Build. This time it's Uxar, Creature of Jungle. So let's set Vizuna off to the side and take a look at the packaging. Pretty much what you'd expect, pretty much the same as all of the other creatures. No surprises here. You got Leewa in the background, the shadow trap it comes with, the mask in the background there, and this cute little bug man here. I'm assuming it's a guy. I absolutely have no idea. At this point, we just don't know. Very similar to the whole protector situation. We just don't know the genders of the creatures at this point. So I'm just going to go off old principles and say that the water one is female until further notice, at least for the Let's Builds here. Hopefully we find out by the time I do the actual reviews, but I don't know, maybe the concept is outdated. Definitely Korgot threw me for a loop being female and the protector of Earth there, so I don't know, we just don't know. Maybe Uxar's a girl, maybe he's a guy. I'm just gonna call him a guy until I'm proven wrong. With that out of the way, I only say that because I feel like Uxar has a little bit of a better chance of being the one that is a girl. I don't know, either Akir, Uxar, or Akaida. That's my bet. That's what I'm betting. Going all in, maybe not, because I don't know what to expect at this point, and I probably shouldn't expect anything. But anyway, it's the second creature Let's Build, where I've talked about the genders of these creatures, but oh well, it's relevant, and it's something that I care about, because I like to be factually correct when I do my reviews, and I made the mistake of assuming things, at least early on with the 2015 wave. So yeah, who knows? I actually don't know when the Journey to One Netflix series is actually gonna be on Netflix. I mean, it just says on the page, you know, like coming in 2016, but it doesn't specify a month or anything, I don't think. Maybe it did somewhere and I just missed it. But yeah, I guess we'll see. And I hope they actually do mention their genders in the show there, because I actually just read the first new series graphic novel. What was that called? The Gathering of the Toa. And yeah, they don't mention Korgot's gender at all in that. I guess it isn't relevant to the plot, so you know, it shouldn't matter. But yeah, I just thought it was worth noting, because if you didn't know that Korgot was a chick, then that wouldn't have helped you at all. Anyway, here we go. Starting off with the trap as usual. With our little clippity clips. Oh, there's actually a couple different colors of this piece. But I need this action right here. And then, yeah, it just kind of goes together the same way. I do like that the traps are a bit more complex as far as the build goes than the skull spiders, because it kind of gives you a little bit more to do as far as their construction goes. Just to let you know, some insider behind-the-scenes information. I'm actually going to be splitting these Let's Builds up into 2 nights, because 12 sets is a lot to do in a single night, so to preserve my sanity at least a little bit, I'm just going to do 6 a night here, and this is actually the 6th set I'm building, so I don't know, do the math. This is the last one I'm building tonight, and so if I sound a little bit more tired here than I do in the next one, which should be golly, actually, then that's why. So yeah, that'll also give you a little bit of an idea of what to expect as far as my commentary goes in this video. I might be a little bit tired, who knows. Okay, so here we go. I'm looking for legs, here they are. Well, I guess they're robot arms. Oh, actually, I should make sure that I'm not too far up. So you can see this going on. Yep, this creature's legs are, in fact, vines, and it's got like a chain tail, so I guess it can hang from trees. I don't know, that makes sense to me. Because, you know, it's a trap built to catch a creature that resides in the jungle. So that's kind of cool that it's one thing that does make these traps more interesting than the spiders. You know, not only is their build more interesting, there's more pieces involved. They actually have a little bit of a function aside from just their legs moving, but they're also, you know, differently built and are each kind of tuned for different environments, at least a little bit. The one that came with Ukar is kind of standard, rather than, you know, specifically built to tread on lava or something like that. But yeah, this one is very clearly themed, and so is the drill feet trap that came with Terek. So yeah, there you go. There is this this trap here. Let me just make sure I'm zoomed out all the way. Yeah, looks pretty cool, but it's pretty much the same as all the others. Here are all three of them together. Two of them have red eyes, one of them has a blue eye, so I don't know what that's all about. There's actually an odd number of traps this time around. Not only do the Toa not come with traps, but the Kopaka and Melum 2-pack, the Unity set, also doesn't come with the trap, which is a little bit of a bummer. Apparently there is some kind of gimmick with Umarak the Hunter, where like some of his armor can come off and turn into a 6th trap, so there is an even number, but Umarak does look a little naked without that armor that make up that trap. That makes up that trap. There you go. There's my first slur. So, yeah, I don't know. I don't really count that as such. I just kind of wish that Kopaka and Melum came with one so that we'd have 6 without having to steal armor from Umarak. Oh, well. Okay, so here is the Unity piece here in silver, just like on Leewa. I mentioned this in what was it? When did I mention this? I think it was in a live stream I did recently. At the time of this recording, of course. I talked about how I wish that all 6 of the creatures were gold. I wish that they didn't separate the creatures 3 silver and 3 gold like they do the Toa. Because they're all these legendary ancient creatures. It seems to me that 3 of them shouldn't be seemingly more important being gold, you know? And I guess objectively silver isn't more important than gold, but like, I'm just kind of pushing that in, using the table to push that in all the way. Anyway, objectively silver isn't better than gold, but like you know, you have like silver medals and gold medals. It's kind of implied that the larger Toa are you know, a little more deluxe, a little more maybe important, and the same goes for the creatures. There's 3 golden ones and 3 silver ones, and it seems to me, as I said, they shouldn't be separated like that. And if nothing else, like all of the Toa, their Unity masks are still gold, all of them, even for the silver Toa, Gali, Pohatu, and Leewa. So making the creature helmets here silver on top of the gold mask, it just doesn't look right to me. And I wish that they made all of the creatures gold so that even if there isn't any gold on like Leewa alone, when this goes on his golden mask, there isn't that separation of colors there. The helmet and the mask kind of become one, you know? And being different colors, it's kind of hard to imagine that they do become one like that. So a minor nitpick as far as that goes, but there's really nothing I can do about it. Just how it is. Oh well. Let's see, make sure this is lined up like the instructions tell me to do it. And then this attaches here. And here. Like, come on, like that. Okay, and then this goes here, and finally that plugs on there. I am liking the diverse builds as far as the creatures go. You know, there are some similarities going on among all of the Toa and all of the creatures in some ways, but all of them are managing to be pretty unique as far as their construction is concerned. Just can't line that up properly. There we go. Motor skills failing. Okay. But yeah, like I mentioned when I did a Let's Build for the Ultra Build General Grievous set that, you know, it was very, that set was, how do I put this? That set was dissimilar as far as its construction goes to all of the recent 2015 BIONICLE sets, and that was just much more fun. I had a much better time building that set because it was more complexity. It kind of shifted the formula a little bit. It wasn't the, you know, fifth set in a row that had kind of a similar structure to it. And so I liked that. I liked building Grievous a little bit better than I liked building, you know, about the sixth or seventh 2015 set. But there is a little bit more variety to the 2016 sets. You know, say what you will about how they look, about their visual design, but their construction is a little bit more complex and a little bit more interesting, I think. So there is that. So we've got ourselves some kind of bug. I guess you can like put these together and it creates kind of like a bug tail or something. Or I guess you could just consider this like the tail and these like little legs or something. I don't know. It's kind of up to interpretation, I think. But these are kind of like pincery claw looking things. I don't know. Kind of reminds me of like a praying mantis or something if you put them up like this. Anyway, rambling on. This is fun. We have fun here. Okay, and then it actually has me build the head before putting the wings together. So that's interesting. That's something different from Ukar, who has kind of a similar thing going on, being a flying creature with the wings and the whatnot. And then Uxar also has these little horns, too. Just like, well, not just like, but kind of similar to the little add-ons that Terak had. Terak and Katar, the creature of stone. Very similar names there. So, I am missing a thing. Oh, there it is. Very similar names there. They're actually pictograms? No, not pictograms. That's not the right thing. Whatever it's called, where they're the same letters just jumbled up. What are those called? I am blanking right now. And as previously established, a little bit tired, so forgive me for not remembering what those are called. But yeah, they have the same letters. So and they also just kind of sound similar in a way too. Katar, Terak, I don't know. So I kind of get those confused sometimes, but I just have to remember that I get them confused sometimes and double check myself. Double check myself. I don't know. English is fun. Anyway, here we go. Now we're building the wings, which don't actually seem to be on ball joints like they were with Ukar. I'm actually going to bring the camera up a little bit because I feel like it's a little too far down than it has been with the other creature builds. But anyway, yeah, these wings here actually aren't on ball joints like they are on Ukar. So that's also a difference, and a little bit disappointing because it means that Uxar isn't quite as expressive. Now this is the interesting part. So the rest of the wing here actually has Lego system parts. Like That's a Lego brick. That's a system brick there. And you have this little vent here going on as well. And I think both Golly and that's silver, actually. That's not gray, but that's gray and silver. Okay, I think Golly and Kopaka, at least, maybe Pohatu as well, they also have Lego system pieces in their build. So that's cool. That's also breaking the system, breaking the norm, rather, is probably more accurate. You know, the Bionicle sets in the past have kind of shied away from using system pieces, but, you know, there's quite a few little system bricks going on here. So, we build 4 of these, yep, times 4. And then attach those, and from there, Uxar is actually about done. And I think the wings look really cool with these pieces here in the trans green, trans bright green, I think the color is. And then actually, supposed to put these. Oop! I actually kind of caught myself there, putting that pin axle in. Anyway. And there we go. And I feel like these are the extra pieces here. So, let's see. How do these actually attach? Looks like one of them goes on here, and the other one goes on here. Like that. Well, that's actually a very impressive wingspan, even larger than Ukar. I actually don't have Ukar handy. I put him in the other room. But yeah, man, that is really, really nice. Just like, it makes this figure seem way bigger than it actually is, just because of how wide those wings spread like that. And then put those on the other side here, and then let me double check, make sure none of these pieces are supposed to go anywhere. No, does not look like it, so we are good to go. There is Uxar, the creature of jungle. So, very gigantic wingspan here, and by bringing up the tail, it flaps the wings, just like on Ukar here. Like I said, unfortunately, there aren't any ball joints up here, so you can't move those wings around too much. However, you do have a little bit of posability on the wing tips here, so you can kind of angle these in if you'd like to get that look for some reason, or angle them up, or kind of just position them back for like a diving pose of some kind, although this section would be forward a little far, so I don't know how useful that would be. And then the neck is rather long here, but it doesn't look off. You know, you don't really need to bring it up like this, like you do on Terrac, to make it look a bit more natural. And again, you can kind of make this like a tail if you want to. You can kind of just bring them out like little legs. The body is slightly awkward, although that may just be my my lack of experience posing anything like this. Akaida actually comes with a stand. Because it's like a fish, and it's constantly swimming, so it actually comes with a stand, and I kind of wish that Uxar came with a stand. Like, I can understand Ukar not coming with one, because it's a bird, and it has, like, feet to stand on, but this kind of doesn't, so on a shelf, you're kind of left doing this. And I suppose that looks fine, but I would have preferred it to be airborne. Anyway, let's bring the camera up even further now, and combine it with Leewa. So, there we got Leewa. Bring in the backdrop up, like so. Bring in the camera up to boot. Excuse me. And now, let's put them together. So, put on the Unity mask, because that's what it tells us to do, even though, you know, the gold doesn't go well with the silver, like I've mentioned before. And then, see, I kind of have Leewa in a pose here. I mentioned in his Let's Build, I wasn't too sure how to pose him very well with his shoulder situation, but this is kind of the best I got in the last 10 minutes, so that's what we're working with. Leewa actually looks really, really cool on the teaser poster for Journey to 1. He's in a super cool pose there, so maybe I should take some cues from that. But anyway, let's see. How is this combination pictured? Like, what do I do with the legs here? It just kind of has them off to the side. So I guess that's that. Although this sword is kind of in the way in the pose I have him in. So let's actually just do it like that. Preparation. And then get these legs out of the way. Lots of things getting in the way with this one. But there is the Unity Fusion! I'm sorry. I just can't help myself. I cannot combine a creature with their Toa without saying fusion, like a brave hero. But yeah, let's see if we can get the helmet on properly with his head turned as much as it is. Maybe I have to kind of line it up a little bit better there. Again, slightly annoying that that the helmet doesn't actually, or the headdress, or whatever you want to call it, doesn't really attach to the mask in any way. So if you pose the head, you kind of have to adjust the helmet to go along with it. Just looking at pictures, I was thinking maybe you can kind of take these legs up here if you want and put them over his shoulders so that it kind of mirrors the spikes that 2015 Leewa has over his shoulders. Again, like Tahu and Ukar, I don't have that Leewa handy to compare, but yeah, you can kind of put those up there if you'd like, which is a cool way of doing things, actually. I think that looks pretty good, but the instructions kind of just have you put the legs behind Leewa, kind of like a tattered cape almost here, which now that I think about it, that's kind of cool as well. Just a lot of spiky things sticking off the back here. This combination actually looks awesome from the back. It's a very kind of uniform shape there, with, you know, a spike at every interval. And then by bringing this up and down, you can, of course, flap the wings, which begs the question, has Leewa lost the ability to fly without Uxar in his Uniter form? Like, I don't know. I guess he could still fly just using his powers over the jungle and air or whatever, because he still seems to have like air powers, even though he's the Toa of jungle in the new series. But he doesn't really have any physical means of flying unless he uses his swords as propellers or something. You know, he had like the wings on his arms made from the axe heads before, but yeah, without Uxar, it doesn't seem like there's any way for Leewa to fly. So that kind of seems like a downgrade in a way. In his base form, of course, he's probably much, much stronger united with Uxar, and maybe that's the point. But yeah, there you go. There is this Unity form. Again, I think it looks super cool from the back, and the wingspan is incredibly impressive. I just kind of don't like the silver and gold combination with the helmet, but maybe that's just me. Anyway, that is about it, guys, and this is IX Roll It IX, signing off.